Hey everybody, Andy Stickle here. So we are going to try something a little different today. I normally go live on my my YouTube or my Facebook. I normally go live in the Facebook group, but it just isn't working. So we're going to try streaming live on YouTube today, and maybe that'll be where my lawyer marketing Facebook Q&A is from now on, because Facebook does not really want to work with me. So let me get my questions here, and we'll see how this goes. Hey, what's up? I see somebody already. TQ Legal said, hi, Andy. It's pretty cool. I've never actually streamed on YouTube before. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the chat. And let's see if we can make this work. I got a bunch of questions that people emailed into me, so I'm just going to go through them. If you have questions, ask in the chat, though, and I'll answer them here. And then we'll go from there. All right, so the first question is, what is the best way to see a recording of my live stream as I'm recording it? I'm trying to record with an iPhone and an iPad, but having issues with the cameras. Well, kind of funny that you're asking me advice on a live stream when I can't get my live stream to work. But honestly, I don't know what the answer is on iPhone or iPad. But the way that I record my live stream is I use software called OBS. And I have an external camera, or you can use your webcam and the microphone on your computer, and you can stream and you can record simultaneously, or you can, so that's the best way to do it. Is I use OBS. There's also software called Wirecast, which I've tried using and could not get to work for the life of me, so I do not recommend that one. And then there's also a couple other ones, but OBS is free. It's the simplest one to use, and I'd recommend OBS. All right. Next question is, we are a law firm that specializes in private equity, real estate, and media/entertainment. Does it make sense to have 3 separate YouTube channels for all 3 practice areas, or does it make sense to have one channel with playlists for each area? The answer is definitively you should have one channel. You should have one YouTube channel and different playlists, because I'm a big fan of trying to keep things simple. And if you're trying to manage 3 different YouTube channels, it's gonna cause a problem. Just keep everything as simple as possible. Put it all on one YouTube channel, and just separate it out by playlists. That's the easiest way to do it. All right, next question is, I'm based in London. I'm a criminal lawyer, and I have revenue streams from a lot of different sources, but I want to niche down. Does this mean to say I have to say goodbye to the other revenue streams? Is there any way I can go niche but also try to do 2 or 3 areas? Okay, so no, you definitely do not have to say goodbye to any revenue streams. What I typically and a lot of times maybe some people get a little confused by this, because I say you have to niche down. If you're speaking to everybody, you're speaking to nobody. And that's just in your marketing. So, what I would say is, like, especially if you're doing like social media marketing. So for me, like, I target lawyers. I do have other clients that are not lawyers, but most of my clients are lawyers. What has ended up happening is I've gotten so busy with lawyers that I haven't really wanted to take on any other clients. But no, that does not mean that you can only do one. That doesn't mean that you can only do one niche. It just means that when you're doing your marketing, you want to focus down on one niche. So, for example, criminal defense lawyers, if you can, if you focus on, like, instead of all things criminal defense, if you focus on being the DUI guy, that will make life a lot easier for you. And it'll make you more niche. It'll just make things go a lot better for you. So that's what I'd recommend. I would recommend that you niche down. You don't have to say goodbye to the other streams, but when you're doing your marketing, focus on one stream, and that's all you have to do. All right, next question is, hold on a second. All right, next question is, what do you recommend for a top to bottom Facebook personal injury funnel? Okay, so what type of cases are you trying to get? Are you trying to get like car accident, or what are you trying to get? for your personal injury funnel. And I can kind of tell you right now, like personal injury is probably one of the most difficult ones to use a Facebook campaign for. It's more like advertising, because like personal injury and criminal defense, a lot of times are kind of like calling 911. It's an emergency service. So if you're trying to set up a funnel for personal injury, what I like doing is I like finding a group of people that maybe would not necessarily, maybe that are not even injured yet. So for example, like I always say, like motorcycle riders. If you can target motorcycle riders and create content that's interesting to them, it's not all about injuries, but maybe how to prevent injuries and motorcycle rights and different things like that, then what's going to happen is when some of them do get injured, then they're going to contact you. All right, mainly car accidents, some workers' comp. Okay, so workers' comp, what I would do is I would go after construction workers or different things like that. Car accident, I'd probably try to niche down a little bit. And what you can do is you can go after you can create like Uber drivers, rideshare drivers. You can do like parents of teen drivers. You can do a lot of different things. There's actually a group here in Lakeland called the 863 Crime Watch group. It's a Facebook group. And what's cool about it is that it basically started as like a neighborhood watch, but now whenever anything happens in Lakeland, Florida, it pretty much gets posted in that group, whether it's a car accident or it's a crime, or people will say like, hey everybody, what's with these helicopters flying overhead? And then everybody chimes in, oh, I see, It's pretty crazy because something will happen and it won't be on the news, but it'll be inside of that group every single time. So that's one thing that I would do. It's kind of like you have to niche down somewhere, either by location or by, practice area or by occupation or something like that. Another thing I've always kind of said to do is something like, so if you're trying to niche down and you want car accidents, what you can do is you can have like like bad drivers in, whatever city, like a Facebook group, so like, cause people love publicly shaming people, so you can say, you can create like a Facebook group, and you can create content that's basically like telling stories about people who are crazy drivers in your area. Cause there's that old joke, that George Carlin joke, where everyone who's driving slower than you is an idiot, and everyone driving faster than you is a maniac, because everybody thinks that everyone's a horrible driver except for themselves. If you ask anybody, you'll never find someone who's actually a bad driver themselves. I've been targeting people who have visited an urgent care facility or an auto body shop. Okay, cool. So that's actually not a bad idea. What you want to do is you want to lead your ad with the benefits. So what we do for our car accident ads is our ads don't say hire me for your car accident. We say something like, we get you, we fight to get you money for medical bills, pain and suffering, and lost wages, something like that. So you always want to lead with the benefits. Don't lead with yourself. Hopefully that answers that question. All right, next question. Which platforms besides Facebook do you recommend spending the most time and money on to get the best results? So if you're not going to use Facebook, then you have to think, where else do your target clients, your target audience, where do they hang out? So like, for example, if you're going after, let's say you're targeting college students for like, DUIs and stuff like that. Then, maybe Snapchat's not a bad place to be. If you're going after an older audience, Snapchat's probably not the right place to go. I think that, in terms of social platforms, I think that Instagram is probably the most underutilized for marketing for attorneys, and probably the one with the biggest future ahead of it. So most people are starting to use Instagram. They're starting to gravitate away from Facebook. I mean, that's not true, gravitate away from Facebook, but most people are starting to use Instagram. You could try LinkedIn. The problem I have with LinkedIn, I don't know. I don't think their ad platform is that great, and I don't really go on LinkedIn that much. I don't know many people that really go on LinkedIn that often. So what I would do, you could try LinkedIn. It's good for networking. I auto post to LinkedIn, but I don't actually spend too much time on there. But Instagram would probably be my big one, and you can do it with stories. Instagram's cool because they got three options. They've got IGTV, they've got Instagram stories, and then they've also got the regular posts on Instagram, which is pretty cool. In fact, I'm going to go live on Instagram and answer a video right now because I've been trying to get better at posting on Instagram. So one of the things that I'm trying to do is post more stories on Instagram. So I'm going to, let's see if I can do this real quick. Let me see if I can go live, record a video while doing a live Q&A. What's the next? My next question is, all right, I'm recording a story now. Okay, so my live Q&A. Hey guys, on Instagram, I'm doing a live on YouTube. Can you see that right here? So I'm live on YouTube, and I'm gonna record a story here. All right, so next question is, in your opinion, what is the most sustainable traffic source to capture leads interested in immigration through investment in real estate? Okay, that's an interesting one. So what's really cool about what's really cool about immigration is you can target people for immigration very, very easily on Facebook by simply targeting the celebrities that are famous in the countries where they're from. So, for example, figure out, if you're trying to go after Brazilians, figure out who the famous Brazilians are. Not necessarily like the soccer players like Neymar or people that like Americans and people in other countries are like, but figure out who are the famous Brazilians that you have to be from Brazil to really like. And you target those people and you figure out who those celebrities are, and then you can actually target them, and that's how you figure them out. And then what I would do after that is I would then niche down into other things like real estate investing, and I would include those other interests also. So I would run Facebook ads. I would target people who like celebrities who are only popular in, Brazil or India, or you can't really do China because Facebook doesn't really go to China, but whoever's popular in that country and only that country. And then I would pair that with real estate interests, and that's probably the way that I would do trying to find leads for immigration who are interested in investing in real estate. That's how I would do that. Let me post that on Instagram. All right, got my Instagram story posted. Cool. All right, moving on. Next question: what are some quick SEO wins? All right, so the quickest SEO wins, and really the maps is the place that you can get the biggest SEO wins the quickest. I actually did a video on this today. So the quickest SEO wins for your law firm, the first is going to be making sure that you have the correct categories selected. You want to go and you want to do a Google search for whatever you are. So personal injury attorney Houston, or DUI attorney San Francisco, and look at what categories the law firms that are ranking actually have. And then you want to make sure that you match those categories because that's what Google is showing. So that's a big win right there. Another big win is taking pictures of your law firm and uploading them to your Google My Business profile. So upload 10. You want to upload 20 interior pictures, 20 exterior pictures of your location. Just walk around with your cell phone. Just take pictures using your cell phone. You want to make sure that you're using your cell phone because if you use your cell phone, then that's going to save the location data to the actual picture. And then when you upload it to the photo section of your Google My Business profile, then that is going to give you, then that's going to make sure that that location data is actually stored on your Google My Business profile. Another SEO win. What's another SEO win? Oh, I know. Join as many local organizations as you can that have directory listings. So I always tell clients, make sure that you join Better Business Bureau. Make sure to join a few chambers of commerce. Now, make sure that the Chamber of Commerce have directory listings, searchable directory listings where you can get your name, your address, your phone number, your website in there. And then join some local bar associations as well. That local prominence will do a lot for you. So those are probably 3 quick SEO wins that you can get that any lawyer can do. You don't need a marketing company for. All right. Next question is... let's see. If anybody has any more questions, go ahead and ask in the comments over here. I lost my questions, though. Let me see. All right, next question is, what can I do to help my SEO company improve my maps rankings? So if you're trying to improve your rankings in the Google Maps, what can you do to improve your ranking? Well, the easiest thing that you can do to improve your ranking is get more reviews. That is the biggest thing you can do to help your SEO company, or if you're doing SEO yourself. Now, here's the thing about reviews. Just because you have the most reviews does not mean you're going to rank number one. That is a huge misconception. All the time I get people saying, oh, I got 25 reviews and this guy only has 6 reviews. Why is he beating me? Because it doesn't have to do with how many reviews you have. That's why he's beating you. But if you can get keywords in your reviews, then you will rank higher. We see this all the time. So what you want to do is you want to ask clients to leave you reviews that actually have keywords in them. Now, you don't want to just say, hey, client, why don't you include Orange County divorce lawyer 6 times in the review? You don't want to do that. But what you want to do is you want to ask them questions that will get you the answers. So, for example, what you're going to do is you're going to send the client an email. And you're going to say, hey, client, really appreciate it if you would leave us a review, blah, 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 whatever you got to do to actually get them to leave a review, right? And then you say and one of the biggest things you have to remember is that writer's block is a big reason for someone not to leave a review. So this will help them come up with something to say also. So you say, we'd really appreciate it if you, actually, you know what? I've got a script right here that I can just read that tells you how to get really good reviews. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Pull it up on my computer about how to get more reviews. Desktop. I'm just going to read the questions because that'll probably be, here we go, review email template. All right, so this is what I tell people. This is the template that I say. I'm just going to read this straight from my computer here. If my computer will work. It says, a lot of times clients are happy with our service but aren't quite sure what to write in a review. Below are some questions that should give you some ideas and will make your review more useful for other people that need our services. Now, these are the questions, and these are important. What was the problem you had prior to coming to our law firm? Where did we represent you? Why did you choose our firm specifically over any other law firm? What did you like about working with our firm? What was the outcome of your case? And how has your life changed since achieving this outcome? Now, if you ask these questions, then they'll answer them. And so, for example, what was the problem that you had prior to coming to our law firm? I got arrested for DUI, or I was going through a divorce. So you're getting that keyword in there. Where do we represent you? You represented me in Orange County, California. You represented me in Baltimore, Maryland. So now we've got the geographical location in there, and we've also got the keywords that are related to it in there. So that's one way that you can help your SEO company improve your maps rankings, is to get good reviews that have keywords in them. All right, next question is, what is your recommended budget for Facebook ads for something like wrongful death? All right, so when we're talking about a Facebook ads budget for wrongful death, there's a couple things you have to know. And first is your ROI, or first is your average settlement. Like what do you typically, on average, what do you make on a case, right? And then what I try to do is I try to work backwards. I don't like saying, what should your budget be? I like saying, well, how much does it cost to get a case, and how many cases do you want? And then just spend that. Now, that's really easy to say, but the way you find those numbers out is by actually running ads, and by looking at, how much is it actually costing you to get someone to and again, what I do is I don't like running ads. I like running a cheat sheet or some sort of bait that helps solve a small problem. So for example, for wrongful death, here's exactly what I would do. I would create a guide that teaches you how to set up a GoFundMe campaign after the death of a loved one, to pay for final expenses, to pay for their kids' college, whatever it is, and I would say, anyone that's experienced a loss, here's a guide setting up a GoFundMe campaign that's going to teach you how to, get medical expenses paid, how to get, living expenses paid for a little while. Maybe they're the breadwinner. And then you're going to put that guide out, and then you're going to follow up. And, when someone downloads the guide, you're then going to send them an email, say, hey, Saw you download a free guide. Very sorry for your loss. Do you have any questions about, how we can help you set up this guide or answer any other questions for you? So a lot of people are going to probably not respond, but some people are going to respond, and then those are the types of people, and then you can start having conversations with those people. So what you're going to start looking at is you're going to start looking at, first of all, okay, what does it cost to get a download for someone to download the guide? And then what does it cost to get a consultation? So let's say it costs you $10 per download, and I'm just using very easy math. And let's say maybe 1 in 20 people books a consultation. So now we know if it costs $10 for a download and 1 in 20 people books a consultation, that means that it costs you $200 per consultation. Okay, now let's say 20% of your consultations actually turn into clients. Okay, so that means that basically if you get 10 consultations, it's going to cost you $2,000, and it's going to cost, and what was my math here? I'm doing my math. I'm trying to do math in my head and I'm screwing it up. But basically, if it costs you $2,000 to get 10 consultations, and you get and it costs you what is it, 200? So that costs you like $200, I think, or am I right? No, $200 times 10 is 2,000. Yeah, so it costs you like $400 per case or $200 per case. I'm getting the math completely wrong, but that's how you do it. You just have to figure out what each step costs you. And then you say, okay, so I know it cost me $500 to get a case. I want to get, 10 cases. So I'm going to spend about $5,000 on ads. That's essentially what you do. And you really just have to, and that comes down to marketing and all that type of stuff. So that's a very simple way to do it, but that's really the way you do it. So whenever someone asks me, like, what is your budget for Facebook ads, I always answer with a question, which is, well, how much does it cost to get you a client? All right, next question. How much should SEO cost? This is a question that I get all the time because a lot of people have been burned by SEO companies, and truthfully, SEO, runs the gamut. There's GoDaddy, who charges $9 a month for SEO, and then you got some companies that charge $10,000 a month for SEO. So how much should it actually cost? Well, there's some things in life that you don't want to pay too little for. So, for example, if I came to you and I said, hey, here's a Lamborghini, brand new, $5,000. First question you would ask me is, what's wrong with it? Or maybe you'd ask if it's stolen. But you would know there's no way you're getting a brand new Lamborghini for $5,000. There has to be a catch. And that's the same with search engine optimization. If you have a search engine optimization company that's coming to you and says, hey, we're going to get you ranked in a competitive market for personal injury or DUI or criminal defense or family law or estate planning or whatever it is, even in a mildly competitive market, and we're going to do it for $500 a month, it ain't happening. It's not going to happen. There's a certain amount that you're going to have to pay if they're going to do it right. So I'll give you an example. Our clients, we've got a lot of clients, and for most of our clients, we spend at least $1,000, maybe even $1,500 a month and up for clients, on their behalf, doing their SEO. Because to do SEO, you have to have good content. You've got to build backlinks. You've got to do directories. You've got to do all this stuff that actually costs money. Nothing is free. So a lot of times these companies, they say like Dex Knows and like all these other like Yodel and all these crappy companies, they'll say, okay, we're going to do SEO for you. And it's never the owner of the company. It's the salesperson. So you got to understand the salesperson's getting 50% of whatever you pay up front, right? So if you pay them $500, then the salesperson's getting $250 a month. And then the company's going to make a profit, and you better bet their profit's not $25. They're taking the majority of the remaining $250 a month. So maybe they take $200, and now you're left with $50 for your search engine optimization. It's not going to happen. So a good SEO company really that knows what they're doing, knows, and actually can get results, needs to have enough money in their budget that they actually can get you results. We know what we're doing. If you said, look, I can only spend $1,000 and you came to my company, I would say, look, I can't help you because I don't want to take your money because I know that for $1,000 a month, I cannot help you. I don't have the resources that I need to help you. It's like, just think about how you compare to, you're maybe like, if any of these attorneys that are on retainer base, Think of how a $3,000 to $5,000 attorney compares to those $99 paralegals that'll do your divorce or your bankruptcy. It's the same thing. They're going to screw it up. They're going to do a crappy job. It's like hiring LegalZoom to do your search engine optimization. Don't do it. It's a horrible idea. So how much should it cost? Well, I mean, anywhere a company that knows what they're doing is probably going to charge you anywhere from, $3,000 or more per month to handle your SEO. And that's just the reality. If they're charging you less than that, it's because they really just probably are not. I mean, they probably just don't. They're not doing as good of a job as they probably should be. Now, sometimes you have stuff in-house. We have a lot of stuff that we do in-house for our clients, and we actually can get our prices below $3,000 because we do so much work that's actually in-house. Most companies don't do that. Most companies don't know how to do that. Our SEO team is one of the best in the world. It's crazy. Our SEO guys, they're actually reading the Google patents and all that stuff that bores me to tears. They love it. So because we have all that in-house, and we have so much stuff like that, we're able to keep our prices lower. But I mean, really, and most of our clients, pay around $2,500 a month, but they get results, and that's what it counts. I'd rather pay more and get results than save a few bucks and get crap. All right, next question. What is better for local SEO tracking? Local Falcon or local Viking? Local Viking. Local Falcon. Wait, let me make sure, because I always get those two. Local Viking. Yeah, local Viking is what you want. Local Falcon we used to use, and then we switched recently to local Viking. Next question, and this is my final question. If anybody has any more questions, ask in the chat area. But if I don't hear from you, then this will be my last question. All right, what about your Facebook approach is different from a more traditional Facebook advertising approach? Well, what I always advertise in Facebook what I advertise for my Facebook advertising approach is, do not advertise your services. Advertise a solution to a small problem that your potential clients have, and then they'll hire you for the bigger problem. So, for example, if you're a divorce lawyer, don't run an ad that just says, hey, are you going through a divorce? Contact me today and I'll help you with your divorce. Don't do that. That's what most people do. What I would do instead is I would figure out, what do people want and what are people afraid of? And then what you can do, so if it's somebody who's going through a divorce, so let's say they want to move on with their life and they want to, get away from, they're just, what is a person who's going through a divorce want? They want to move on with their life. They want to get divorced, move on with their life, but they don't want to alienate their kids and they don't want to screw up their kids, So then what you do is you create content and you advertise that content. You advertise something that says, hey, here is how you can get a divorce without screwing up your kids. And then you can even put out like a free guide or something like that. And then when they download it, then you follow up from there. And what you've done is you've provided some goodwill. A lot of time, like how to file, so like bankruptcy. A lot of people are afraid of losing their house, but they want to get rid of the debt. So you could say like how to eliminate all of your debt, or you could say something like, what will we say for bankruptcy? You can say like, here's how to consolidate. Here's how to get your head above water and consolidate all your bills into one easy to afford monthly payment without losing your house and without having to sell your car. So it's like, instead of saying, hey, you should file for bankruptcy, you're saying, here's how you do this. And then you create a free guide, a free cheat sheet or something like that teaches them how to do it. Then you follow up and you provide value and then they hire you. It works every time. It's super simple. And that's what's different. The traditional form of Facebook advertising that most lawyers do is they throw up an ad and then I call it the hope and pray method. They throw up an ad and then it just talks about themselves and they hope and pray that somebody sees it and contacts them and it doesn't work. And every once in a while it does. I mean, there's a saying that every once in a while a blind squirrel finds a nut, but those are very few and far between. So, all right, cool. Well, hey, listen, this was fun hanging out on YouTube today. Facebook has been giving me lots of problems lately, so YouTube may be the new home of the lawyer marketing Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, as always, send me an email, leave a comment, but we will talk to everybody soon. All right, thanks, guys.